The exhibition concept Holes in the Mirror is dealing with artistic deconstruction and decomposition. In the title, mirror is a metaphor for our perception, which is mainly constructed by knowledge. The images that we see in the mirror can only be blurred images. Why? Because these images are influenced mainly by our brains, and they're mainly by our cultural, social and individual experiences and frames and borders. So therefore, objective images doesn't exist. But nevertheless, those blurred images in the mirror, they represent a certain status quo of society. So, in the title, Holes in the Mirror actually means that for changing society, for changing life, for being engaged and being an active part of society, you have to get beyond the status quo. You have to get beyond the mirror. And therefore, and this is my belief, artistic deconstruction and decomposition is an instrument, it is a way to get through the mirror, to get beyond the mirror, maybe to smash even the mirror, to see new worlds, new visions of other possibilities which lay beyond the mirror. Any change of society, any development, any progress that one wants to achieve lays actually in this process to destroy the status quo, to think over the state of the contemporary situation of society. And therefore, for instance, artists, they go through the mirror. Every artistic approach and every artistic research starts actually from the point of the unknown. For an artist, always and every time, everything is new. So therefore, for instance, the artist is not just laying on the surface or on the mirror. He doesn't believe in the images which are represented in the mirror. He wants to find out anything new. And therefore, the artist goes beyond the mirror by deconstructing and decomposing the known. And by doing so, he actively takes part in shaping, informing and changing society. As a common point of all the artistic approaches that we see in the current exhibition situation, Holes in the Mirror, can be described as following. I mean, all the artists, they do not believe in the known world, in the visual world. All the artists, they believe that in a heterogeneous, in a pluralistic world, which is in a situation of rapid change, nothing can be solid and nothing can be certain anymore. The modern artist and modernism still believed in a concept like absolute truth or absolute knowledge, but for now over 30 years, and with postmodernism, we got also now a theoretical basement which proved that the status quo of today's society is pluralistic and heterogeneous, and this is also a difference to modernism, this is valued positively. So if there isn't anything certain, if there is a liquid, fluid state of mind, of architecture, of society, if everything is changing so fast, then actually also the term truth, for instance, or the term constructivism, construct, can only be a temporary one. For instance, of course, the concept of truth still exists, but nowadays, truth as a concept can only exist temporary and for certain groups which agreed on a certain platform or frame of truth. And so therefore the artworks that we see in the exhibition are all, in one way, some look unfinished, some look like they are about to fall apart, or some even they look like they fall already apart. Or you see representations of everyday objects in a total different view. And all these artworks, all these artists, they prove actually that there is a world beyond the mirror, and if we want to achieve a progress, a change in society, if we want to take actively a part in shaping society, if we want to be social, political, engaged, then deconstruction and decomposition, the artistic process of that, is one way. And therefore, the artists in general, and the artists at the exhibition especially, can be as examples, as various approaches for that. So to sum it up again, artistic deconstruction and decomposition is an evolution process in which one shapes and deconstructs and reconstructs later on images and visions of life, and by doing so finds new ways, new possibilities, new approaches to life. And by doing so, here we have actually an artistic way, an artistic approach, research for shaping life. And if one is still questioning the role and the function of the artist, then one role and one function of art and of the artist is creating new images of life, open up new ways for showing alternatives, views, vision, images of life, and by doing so, changing life, actively being part of society. And that's Holes in the Mirror.
Sergideki işlerim enstalasyon ikisi de. Medya araçları hazır nesne var. Baskı teknikleri kullanıyorum. Desen, resim, boya falan hepsi var. Video kullanıyorum. Sergideki işler ikisi de hazır nesne ile ilgili, yani birbirlerini tamamlayan. Aslında benim uğraştığım işler birbiriyle alakasız bir sürü parçanın birbiriyle ilişkisine bakmadan rastlantısal alıyorum parçaları. Zaten kendiliğinden bir düzenleri oluşuyor ve işin sonunda da kendi içeriklerini oluşturuyorlar. Genellikle işlerimdeki içerik zaten zamandır benim. Yani resimler olsun, enstalasyonlar hep içerik zamandır. Sergideki işlerimden senkron projesi benim 4,5-5 senelik bir bu zamanla ilgilenmeye başladığımdan beri oluşturmaya çalıştığım bir işti. Aslında bizim algımız dışında gerçekleşen ve kombinasyon sayısı arttıkça birbiriyle çakışma ihtimalleri artan büyük bir düzen var. Ve ben bu düzenin sadece küçük bir modelini oluşturup bunun aslında büyütülüp küçültülebileceği bir ortamın sadece bir gösterisini yapıyorum. Diyaloglar işinde ise binlerce sakızın birleştirilmesiyle oluşturulmuş bir konstrüksiyon denilebilir. Bu aslında büyük bir parçanın küçük bir modeli, yine aynı, yani genelde içerik hep aynı. Küçük parçaların birbiriyle olan ilişkileri bütüne bakıldığı zaman yine yani büyüyüp küçülmesi aslında bir şey değiştirmiyor. Evet ya, böyle bir şey işte yani.